Hi, and welcome to the Trucking Scribe. It's Esther. Today we're working on day 4 of our Bible study on the birth of Jesus. And we're looking at the journey that Jesus took and Mary and Joseph to get from Nazareth to Bethlehem. We're making little barn doors, a flip out. Let's see if I can get my flip out to go. And then some journaling cards in a pocket. So I hope you'll stay and watch the video. So we started last week on the Bible study, From Prophecy to Promise, A Journey Through the Birth of Jesus. So we've got 9 days. I'm doing Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for 3 weeks. This is the beginning of the second week. So week 1, we did the prophecy of Jesus. We talked about Isaiah on Monday. Then on Wednesday, we talked about Mary and Gabriel telling Mary that she was going to give birth to Jesus. So that's another prophecy. Then on Friday, we talked about Joseph's dream. So Joseph, in his dream, talked to an angel telling him of Jesus' birth and that Mary was pregnant and that this was God's baby and that Joseph needed to stand by Mary throughout the pregnancy and the birth of Jesus. So today we're talking about the journey from Nazareth to Bethlehem, and we're going to start with reading the scripture that has the main points in it. The birth of Jesus Christ. In those days, a decree went out from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be registered. This was the first registration when Quirinius was governor of Syria, and all went to be registered, each to his own town. And Joseph also went up from Galilee, from the town of Nazareth to Judea, to the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and lineage of David, to be registered with Mary his betrothed, who was with child. And while they were there, the time came for her to give birth, and she gave birth to her firstborn son, and wrapped him in swaddling clothes, and laid him in a manger, because there was no place for him in the inn. So back in July, I did a study. We did this study, for Jesus in July. Some of the things that I came up with, and I'm reading from you can't see it very well. I'll show it when I turn the camera around. Jesus was born in Bethlehem at a time when the Roman Empire was the largest it's ever been, from Parthia to Britain, called the Empire of the Whole World. I found that in the Blue Letter Bible. Bethlehem also means the house of bread. King David was born in Bethlehem, not the city of David, known as Zion. God used Caesar's census to glorify God. This is why Joseph and Mary went to Bethlehem, because of the census and because the prophets foretold Jesus' birth in Bethlehem. So, we have our census every 4 years or 10 years. So every 10 years, I believe, we have our census, and we go online and fill out the census, or they mail it to us. They used to come around door to door to people. You didn't have to go back to your hometown. So I was born in Michigan. So I live in Georgia. If I had to go back to the census like Joseph and Mary in their time, I would have to go all the way back to Michigan to file my census information. So that was that actually contributed more information to Jesus and his birth, and solidified that he came from the house of David, like the prophecies had foretold. Day 4, the journey to Bethlehem, a crucial part of the Christmas story. This is some of what I wrote, and then I have another page. Mary and Joseph's journey to Bethlehem is one of the most pivotal points in the Christmas narrative. This journey sets the stage for the birth of Jesus and represents a journey of faith and obedience. Joseph, a carpenter from Nazareth, and his betrothed Mary lived when the Roman Empire exerted control over the land of Israel. A decree from Caesar Augustus required everyone to return to their ancestral homes for a census. For Joseph, this meant a journey to Bethlehem, the city of David, as he was of David's lineage. The journey from Nazareth to Bethlehem was complex. It was about 90 miles, much of it through challenging terrain. At this point, Mary was heavily pregnant, which would have made the journey even more dangerous. They had to travel through the deserts, climb hilly terrains, and brave the elements. Despite the difficulties, Mary and Joseph's commitment to obey the decree and their unwavering faith in God's plan are lessons for us all. They were willing to face discomfort and uncertainty because they trusted God's purpose. So today, we could go get in our car and we could be 90 miles down the road in an hour and a half or less. Back then, they were riding a donkey and or walking. So it took days and probably months to get back to Bethlehem for that 90 miles. Not only that, the women out there that have had children, by the time you get 7th or 8th month of pregnancy, you're miserable, let alone that last month where you can't get comfortable. It's too hot and you're wiggling and everything. Just imagine what Mary was going through, walking through all of this just to get Jesus where he needed to be when he was born and to follow what God had asked them to do. So I added this, the setting for the arrival of the beloved visitor, which is one of our prompts for today, beloved visitor. Jesus was one of profound humility. A stable, likely simple and rugged, became the birthplace of the Savior of the world, amid the smell of hay and animals and the rough wooden beams of the manger. Jesus entered the world not with fanfare, but in quiet simplicity. There was no grand palace or royal announcement, only the soft cries of a newborn and the awe of Mary and Joseph as they beheld the child who was Emmanuel, God with us. This humble setting holds a powerful lesson for all who reflect on the Nativity story. It reminds us that the greatest gift often comes in the simplest of packages, and that true significance is not found in grandeur, but in purpose. The stable, as modest as it was, became a beacon of hope, signaling that God's presence is accessible to all, regardless of status or wealth. Humility, as exemplified by Jesus' birth, is central to the faith journey. It teaches us to surrender our pride, recognize our dependence on God, embrace simplicity and service. Just as Jesus' humble beginnings were part of God's divine plan, our humble moments, whether challenges or acts of quiet faith, can shape us, deepen our resilience on God, and draw us closer to His purpose for our lives. Humility, as shown in the Nativity, reminds us that God often works in unexpected places and through ordinary circumstances, bringing extraordinary transformation to the world. So this page that I just read before this one, I did in July. That's what I gathered from my study. So then I added this for the December reading. And as I continue doing this same study, I'll keep adding more and more information to my journals. So now I have 2 journals that I can go back and look upon to see what I've done, what I've learned, have inspiration for something else. One of the key things that really drew my attention in here was that Jesus wasn't born in a castle or at the White House or at any fancy place, even a hospital. He was not born at any of these. He was born in a stable that probably smelled like horses and cats and dogs, and I don't know if they had cats and dogs back then, but horses and pigs and cows and all that, and the feces and all the smelly stuff that goes along with a barn or a stable. I've been in one once or twice and it was horrible to me, but that's where God chose to have Jesus's birth. So, further along in the study, we are going to be looking at Jesus being born in the manger versus being born in a castle. So that's coming up. Joseph, whether challenges or acts of quiet faith, can shape us, deepen our resilience on God. So the quiet faith, to me, that speaks of Joseph, because he was in the background and there was very little spoken of him, although he was a very big part of the birth, because Mary in that time could not have a child out of marriage, and Joseph could actually have left her during the betrothal or engagement period because she was pregnant and she could have been stoned and killed for having sex outside of marriage, but she didn't. God came and gave her this baby through miraculous events and asked Joseph, hey, I need you to do this for me, and I need you to not tell the world. This is something that's just between you and me and Mary for the time being. And then eventually the story got out and throughout history, and that's how we've come along. to it. So this is a very touching Bible study. I want to say a really quick prayer. Dear Lord, thank you for this Bible study, for opening our eyes to all the different aspects of Jesus' birth, to the humility and the simpleness of his birth, to help us understand that money and worth and power are not everything, and remind us that, we may have some stuff. We may have a house and a home, but there's so many people out there like Jesus and Mary and Joseph that have nothing, that we need to pray for and we need to think about and try and help when we can. Thank you so much for all the people that have come and joined this Bible study and who will continue to join the Bible study over the years. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. This download today will have all of this in there from this page with the cat. So I do want to talk about the cat. That was on last week's. I did it Friday. So we had a quirky cat. And I thought, well, I'm trying to bring, like, the cards that we did on Monday, I brought it over to Friday. I'm going to bring in different stuff from different days, the prompts, to tie together the whole book. So I thought, this quirky little cute cat needs to be somewhere else. So there he is. He needs a name. I don't know what we're going to name him yet. Y'all got some ideas? Put it in the comments. We'll find a name. So this will be up as a free download. All of this right here that I'm fixing to show you, you can go get it, including the previous Bible study and the next 5 days of Bible study that will be coming up. I'm posting it the day of the videos. So you get that, this page, you get a writing page, then you get Mary on the donkey. Then for today, we're going to do a pocket, and then we're going to also look at Mary and Joseph and Jesus in the manger. You're going to get this, which is on the front. We're going to make these doors into a gatefold. So I did put this one in without the cat in case somebody wanted it without the cat, but I have, up till now, have the cat. I'm offering different printables to go with this so that you can do different things. Okay, so this is the list. We are getting our prompts from December that Louise Heinzel and Barbara from 49 Dragonflies. I'm not sure what Barbara's last name is right now, but there's 2 different channels. So there's Louise Heinzel channel and there is 49 Dragonflies. They are the host of the Defender 2024. They've done it for the last 4 years. They take prompts that they just came up with. It's not any religious kind of prompts. They're just prompts to help different people, because there's so many of us out here that we're lost at Christmas. You've lost your family, or you're missing someone, or you're just alone, and you don't, you may not celebrate Christmas. You may be Muslim or atheist or Jewish. So you can use this in all of those different aspects to inspire your journal. And that's what I've done. So far we've done altered playing cards, a layered tag, and apothecary label. That was last week's, and we tied this in with the Bible study on Jesus. So today we're doing journaling card and beloved visitor, and Jesus is our beloved visitor for today. Then Wednesday we're going to do altered pocket. Friday, least favorite ephemera and bookbinder's art. Now, I really like the bookbinder's art because that's where I got started in junk journaling, was bookbinding. I am thinking about, so we'll do the following week. Next week, we're going to do tuck spot, flip out page, and mini pocket letter. I think I'm going to add some more and do the next 2 weeks. So we'll have altered book page, photo frame, double tag, and then envelope flip and mixed media. So I have another study on my website or in my Etsy store that does 31 days of Christmas, so that you can walk through that. And that's where I'm going to pull it from, is from there. But so far, the whole Bible study that we're working on now is up. So there will be a link down below where you can come over here and you can get all of these downloads for free. it's going to bring you to today's, but you can go to the shop part and you can see I have, this was Fridays, Wednesdays, Mondays. And I also have Psalms that we've been working on Fridays throughout the year. We're up to Psalm 11. So the first Friday in January, we will be doing Psalms 12. Here is the complete Bible study right here. You get all of it. All of it's here for you to download for free. So you just come over here and you click on, say, day 3. I don't have 4 up yet. And how much do you want to pay? Just put 0 and get now. And it lets you check out, get this page. And then it says view content. You click it and download. So like I said, this is Fridays. Haven't got today's up yet. Let's see. So here it is, day 3. It's in a zip file. And you get all of these. Let me start down here. And you can just go through and print what you want. So all of these were Friday. They're free for you to get. And that's where the today's will be at the same place. So today's prompt is journaling cards and the theme of beloved visitor. So I put up that in, and I put today's reading in to Chat GPT, and I said, give me 10 creative junk journal prompts. You can see what I put in right there. It's right here. And this is what it came up with. I have 10 different prompts that will be putting in with today's download. And let's see. So you can do create a journaling card featuring a starry night to symbolize Bethlehem. Create a map of the 90-mile journey. Design a tag shape like a small N. Layering journaling cards. A key theme journaling card. Small footprints on the page. Journaling card shaped like an angel or wings. A door-shaped journaling card, which is what I'm going to be doing today. Can make a pocket shaped like a rolled parchment scroll, which I'm doing that also. That's part of we're doing 8 and 9 together. And a journaling card shaped of the Star of Bethlehem with gold accents. And they all have prompts that you can write about. So for the census, I could write about the trust Mary and Joseph placed in God's plan when it was difficult on their journey. Who are the visitors who strengthen your faith along your way? So all of this will be in the download. I will put all these 10 prompts to go with it, give you some ideas, and we will now get started on the crafting, which is just as much fun for me. So now we're working on our journal prompts. You know, our pages are, well, the way I'm doing my journal, and you can do yours differently, but I'm folding the pages in half. And the back side, there's no printing on it to do it this way. Okay. And the one thing, and I'll tell you, Friday, I wanted this up here in the front, like in between those 2 pages. Well, it wound up here because I wasn't paying attention to how I have my pages layered. So let's see. Start with, let's just kind of get them to where I want them. Let's see. I feel like I'm missing something. I am missing something. Where'd it go? Okay. Here it is. Right. So what I'm going to do is my book. So if you haven't been here, my book opens up like this. Here it is. And we have just glued the pages together, and I'm going to show you how to glue them. So this is where my front page, the first page for today, I want to be. It's got the verses that we talked about. Then day 4, this is what I wrote in July. And this is what I wrote this week. And I have the picture of Mary, and then I have one with some lines. Today, I'm going to actually be doing this, the door-shaped journaling tag, but it's not going to be a journaling tag. And then I'm doing the Roman census pocket-shaped scroll. So I'm doing my version of this. Now, I wound up printing twice because I printed this right here with letters. But you know what? Then I got thinking, well, I should have I didn't cut it right, and it's too short for what I need. But if you look in here, where are they at? Some of these don't. You can see the writing in the background is another layer of stuff in the back. See? So I could have just used this. I could probably still use it, but it's too small for what I want to do, because what we're going to do, we're going to have a gatefold right here, and that's going to open up on my picture. So I cut it too short. This time I cut this one kind of close, and then I thought, wait a minute, I need to cut and leave excess. So this is going to be under our door, like this. So I may need to trim some off over here. We'll see. First, let's open our door. So I'm going to use my blade and my quilting mat, and I'm just going to, I'm going to cut from here all the way down, and I'm going to cut here and here. Yeah, I'm going to cut through the cat's face. I didn't think about that, but that's okay, because he'll be closed most of the time. If you get here and you didn't quite make it, just grab your scissors. So because I want to emboss this or score it in my scoreboard, this line is not straight, but I want it to be on that line. So I'm going to use this book for the scoring so that our doors will open. I'm going to get way over there. I'm supposed to be right here, y'all. I am not with it today. So I'm going to go ahead and come down to the cat, because that part will be opening. Yeah, I was hoping it would have more of a score on it. Let's try this. And you can do that too. You use your ruler and fold it up against it. So I wasn't thinking about that. I could just take this like that. So what I do want to do is cover up this white. I'm just going to use glue stick on this one. And what I can do, I'm just going to rip this so it's kind of frumpy kind of looking. And I am going to do this. So this side, you will only see the doors. I don't know if you'll see that part, but I'm going to go ahead and just put some ink on it. Okay, so then I got this other door. Like I said before, this is just, we're doing a scrappy journal. use what you got. You can use new stuff. You can use old. I'm doing both. So I got my digitals and then I got my trash, which depending on who you talk to, it may or may not be trash. I'm going to bring some of this other color because I like both. I'm trying to get the wrinkles in it to show up. Probably should have scrunched it up before I started. So I'm thinking we can use the twine as a closure. I'm going to cut that off. And I am going to use some grommets just because I think they're going to need the extra strength. Maybe not, but so I'm going to put it right here on this, a little bit over from the door thing, just because it gives it a little more room. See my funky looking thing? I ain't taking that out though. This is our rugged journal, remember? Hope y'all are having a good weekend. It looks like it's going to rain here today. Or had a good weekend. It's Monday for me. Sometimes I want to get these videos up sooner, but I struggle with getting them done. Okay, so I got this out. I'm going to go ahead and dirty up this page too. You know what I'd really like is to have these little door handles or these here. So what I want to do is I want to put my picture right here. So when we open up, we open up on Jesus. I'm going to go around the edge to seal it. Especially right in here right at that tear. Flip back over. I have to be careful with that wet glue because it will stick and I won't be able to move it where I want it to. That's some raffia. I think I'll try one of these. I was thinking we could just put it down in here to make it look real. I think I want to take some fabric tack and tack it down. So I don't know that the white glue is going to hold it good enough. It might. I don't know if y'all can see me in this little corner over here where I'm trying to cut this. Now, I'm trying to get my finger too. So what I'm thinking about doing is putting this on here to where, yeah, I think I'm going to do fabric tack. So I'm going to try and put this lightly right over the hay, not on Jesus as much. Let's see what we can do. Yeah, I think the fabric tack is probably going to be the better bet. Just because it's thicker and it's holding it. And then what I'm going to do is kind of trim these a little bit to where they're not completely hanging out of our manger. Now, if you wanted to sew these down, which I may do that just to see how it looks, this would be a good time to use your sewing machine. So I have all this in there. Shake off some if there's any shaking. I need to be shaken off. When our door closes, you can see they're kind of peeking out here. Okay. I don't really like the way that one's poking out. Okay, so I'm going to check my pages again, make sure they're going the right direction. And the way I want them, and then I'm going to glue them on, so I'll show you how I glue them. And since this is my first page, see if that's dry. This one needs to be glued down first. And I do need to trim some because it's hanging out. Just going to gently trim it down. I was going to sew, but the sewing machine's acting up. So, let's see. This one I want to be my top page. So when I got my journal here, I want this to open up next. And then this one. This one. Okay. So you got to start with the top, gluing it first. I'll do this one first, and I'm going to glue this side. The side that I'm going to glue, I'm going to stick on top, and I'm going to put a page between it to keep some of that glue off the inside of the page in case I go over. So I'm taking it and I'm going from the center out. You don't go like this. Center out. I like to put like glue on mine around the edges. Now I went a little bit further, closer over here than I really wanted to, because I want this binding to be able to expand some. So then I look at my page, look at this page, and I turn mine this way and kind of hold it and look at where my page is going. I even take my bone folder and kind of squish it down. So one thing I can tell already is I need to put some pockets or stuff up at the top, because the top is getting smaller. See the difference in the middle? So again, I'm going to check my page. And I'm flipping mine this way just because of the way the paper is. Now, if you haven't done a lot of junk journaling, for me, I've noticed that the stick glue seems to give your see, I still can put it on upside down. Let me see. Yeah. It gives your papers, it thickens it up or gives it more structure when it dries. So I do like using the stick glue. Okay, so I have added my pages. We need to, I think what I'm going to do is, I was going to put it all, but I think I'm going to do two different ones. So let's see. I'm going to try and tie a double knot to keep it from going through the little hole. Let's see. Yeah. And another little knot at the other end. And I'm going to come from this side and put this one in there. Tie a little knot here to keep my twine from unwinding. Oh, I did want it a little bit closer up. I guess I'll just put another knot in. I'm going to trim this off. It actually would go in my little hay pretty good, but right now I'm just going to tie this up. Okay. So what we have left is our pocket. So when I cut the other one, I cut the pocket right on the lines. Then again, I wasn't thinking, I really wanted to save this part. So what I'm going to do, and the reason I want to save that is it'll give the top of my pocket a little more structure. You don't have to. So I'm going to come in right about, well, let me go this way. Right there where I got a little crease on there. A little bit more. And I'm just going to mark these lines with my upside down scoreboard, which is fine. I'm just using my black line to connect my lines. See, when you fold this, then you'll have a nice little crease. So if you've been following along, you know I have this little basket that I'm putting everything in. So I have this where I'm just putting my little extras in here. This is where we got the cards for Fridays, because we came from the first page over and tied them in. We have a pocket that we've already put one in the front. I have all these little extras. So I went and I wrote this verse out on this little piece of paper that I got. That's all. And so I wrote Luke 1 through 7 in this little piece of paper that I have. It was in my box. I had printed quite a few of these, trying to get it the size that I wanted, and it didn't work. So I saved these, and this is why I saved them, to put them in here and use them in different ways. So, look at this. I did distress my edges best I could. I'm going to put this other pocket, I think, right here. And I'm going to put that in there. So I do want to put some glue right here. This is that top flap, so it's right there. Just to glue that down, so to get that more structure. And then I'm going to put glue on here to glue my pocket down. You know what I didn't do? What's this? Can I do it? I did this on Midjourney, and I was surprised that it actually spelled almost right. So one thing I didn't do on here, I like putting dates on stuff so I know when I go back that when I did it. Let's see, I put any dates in here. Yeah, see, I can tell you which day I went back. So on this one, I want to put today's date, which is what? December 9th. Hope you guys are enjoying the Bible study, because I am. Look at that. It's just perfect in there. And actually, I think I want to make that darker. Now, I'm not a very good writer, although I love practicing. It's a lot of practicing, y'all. I have tried it. But the reason I'm handwriting all this is because it just personalizes my journal that much more for me. Because when I look at this one, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember doing this and this and this. And that's my handwriting, sloppy as it can be, but it's mine. So this will go in here. I do feel like this needs more something. There we go. It's looking better. So these, what I could also do with them, is I've still got these little pieces here. I could glue on them somehow, or I've got all these index cards that I could put on them for writing space for ones like this. And actually, I might would do it just like that and leave the outside page where you can see it. Let's just go ahead and do that real quick. So I got to work on my sewing machine over here, because I did want to do some sewing, and like the manger today, I wanted to sew on it, but my sewing machine did not want to work. So if you have these and you have something like this, writing on the front, you could always just glue it right there. So this one, I'm just going to stick with that one as an extra, and it made it thicker. So these are just little journaling cards that I made from my misprints. Then you could write here, and I'm putting these in here because, yeah, I'm going to come back later and I'm going to probably write in them. Just like this one, I could come in here, all this extra space that I had. Here's an extra page. I could come in and put more journaling in it. So that's why I'm putting all these pages in here, besides the fact that I did print it already. So I'm thinking, I don't want this to go to waste either. I'm going to use this as a flip out, and we're just going to have the printing on there. Yeah. And I'm putting the card on the back, one for writing, but another to give this more structure as a flip out. I've got to edit some of my knitting videos. I got a couple of them done over the weekend. I just haven't edited. Let's see. So what you could do, go along with that, those letters. No, I don't know where my mat is, my, what you call it is to put on my stamp right now. We're just going to use it like this. So you're just taking that sheet, and I actually think if I did it this way, it might would print better. Just lay my paper on the print. So if you get misprints, do something like that. Use your stamps and just create something new. What am I going to do? Oh, yeah, I was going to trim this out. Since I didn't cut off funky. And since we are, I think, using scraps, I'm not even going to use washi tape. I'm going to use one of these scraps that we have to hold this on. I think right there would look good because it covers up that, and then you can flip it open and have writing and part of the verse. I'm going to do, let's see if I got anything long enough. I have this, which we could make. It's kind of thick, but I think I'm going to go ahead and use it. No, I don't need quite that thick, so I'm going to trim it down because I don't want it past right there. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this right here, and then it's going to open our page on it. And I'm also going to glue it down to this side. When I figure out which way is the right direction. So what I've done is I made this little, and we can use this for another little flip or something in there. Just a little piece that's going to hold our paper on so that we can do this. And I think I may just make it a little bit shorter on this side. Not a whole lot because I need some to hang on to. And I'm going to put a lot of glue on here. Not a lot, but enough. Maybe a lot. And remember, I wanted it over that. So let's see. I'm lining it with the edge of the paper right there. And I wanted it to cover that, so when you open this, you've got more to read. There we go. Okay, let's look at what we did today. So our prompts were journaling page, or journaling cards, and unexpected visitor. So our journaling cards, right here's one. We've got a friend journal. And then we also have our journaling cards back here. And our unexpected visitor is right here under our doors. Look at that. There's Jesus in the manger. We put all this on him on the page. I wanted to sew it, but my sewing machine wasn't wanting to work. And I didn't want to sew it afterwards. So I'm thinking this could use some more stuff. I don't know what. I think it did turn out pretty good though. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're new here, it'd be great if you hit that subscribe button. If you've been here a while and you're new here, I would really love a comment of any kind. Just leave me an emoji if you don't know what to put. Just put a heart or a smiley face or something. And I will see you next time.